Howdy folks, it's Johan, your favorite little ink blob, back at it today with a little bit more of Refined Self. I wasn't sure how I was feeling about it, but I definitely wanted to do the extra quizzes, and importantly, after a day or few, after a few days of thinking, I think I have an idea of the key that we got from the ladder. Isn't there something where we like go pray, and didn't that have like a locked shed? So I'm wondering if that has something to do with the key. So I think we're gonna do these quizzes, and then either tonight or tomorrow, which I'll stitch together, we'll go back and we'll certainly see if we can get that shed open. And then, so that's using the ladder for an inaccessible place. And then we'll do another run where we do the ladder for a shortcut and see if that gets us anything interesting. And then I really want to figure out the safe. I think that's the only other like big mystery that I'm aware of, but I want to get those figured out. So we'll do that. But let's have some fun quiz times. Let's do these three and have a little fun chatting together. Which would you want? Sheep. Which would I want? Art skills or vocal skills? I like singing a lot, but I'm kind of the like, a beautiful voice is awesome, or even just like a really rich voice. I love Stan Rogers, who is a Canadian singer-songwriter who does a lot of like shanty-esque things. It's folk music, but often very nautical. I love his voice. I would love to have a voice like that, or Rob Halford, or name just about any singer that's on some sort of like, you know, Country's Got Talent kind of stuff. A lot of them have really pretty voices, and I would love that. But I'm also very much of the opinion that a lot of music can be, it doesn't necessarily have to be good. It's an expression that I love when it's just raw and simple and comes together. So as much as I like that, I think art skills, and that's very much because I love art so much. I think it would give me so many neat new ways to express myself, but I really struggle to find the joy in the process rather than the end product, which I think it was talking about. I think we had that in the last quiz, right? And I think that's a prime example of where I'm way too results oriented rather than process oriented, because I think you need to be process oriented with building a lot of skills and crafts like that to enjoy it enough to stick with it long enough that you can start building those end products you like. Or, I guess, as I have seen from many of my art friends, you'll never really enjoy the end products you make. You'll still find all of these criticisms, but you'll start still making really good art pieces. So, I think art skills, if I could just like shortcut that. Vocal skills, I enjoy the process, and I don't think I'm a great singer, but I can see myself actually becoming a somewhat decent singer at some point just through repetition, whereas art, I don't know when I'm going to get the drive to really work on that. I like pixel art, but there's still a ways. I suspect art skills is what most folks want. Yeah. I don't know, this seems like a game that would attract people who like the sort of sense of aesthetics a lot. Which would you rather want? Vast riches or healthy for life? Well, I mean, you could argue that vast riches could probably keep you healthy for life, but there are some things that it doesn't necessarily give you access to. And think of the money you could save on if you had some sort of terrible thing. I mean, like, I guess a lot of it gets covered, right? But depends on the country you're in. There are certain ones where that maybe would cost more. But I don't know, like, I guess it's not like you'll never have some sort of traumatic injury, but I guess even if you do have a traumatic injury, you're not going to have like long-term debilitating issues. would kind of seem to be the premise to me. So like I would feel more comfortable doing more like sporting, risky activities and such. And like, you know, I've got an ankle that it's actually I've been using it more. I haven't found and done like specific exercises that I found, but I've been using it more and trying to be working it a lot more than I was like the past year or two. And it's I'm not saying it's better. There's still like a bit of range of motion in some ways, but like it doesn't I don't have it get like painful or stiff days as much. I'm like again, I don't want to say specific age. I'm fairly young in the grand scheme of things. So like if having a little bit of my body stop working the way I'd like it to already is I think health for life would be a really sweet deal, because that's I think a lot I don't know, just being able to be comfortable in your own body. And hey, wouldn't that also mean healthy weight no matter what you eat? That's another one that would be good for me. So yeah, I think definitely healthy for life. I'm gonna this is like a calmer, cuter game, which I think might encourage more people to be healthy for life, but I feel like Riches has a broader appeal. That's pretty even. Okay. Yeah. I think I really like healthy for life as a concept. Like that I think is a really nice one. And it doesn't come with a lot of the like complications that the Riches could, you know, be part and parcel with. And also like if it's a lump sum, maybe you outspend it and a whole bunch of other stuff. Which would you want? Good eyesight or good hearing? Ooh, I actually have pretty good hearing. It's funny. I think I have a lot of trouble processing auditory information, but I can hear things very well. Eyesight? I think I'd rather have good eyesight, because my right eye is slightly above average, but my left eye is significantly below average. I'm technically supposed to wear glasses. I looked into getting a prescription monocle, but no one wanted to do it for any sort of reasonable price. So I can't walk around being Mr. Peanut or the Monopoly Man. No, that's right. The Monopoly Man doesn't have a monocle. The Mr. Peanut does, the like Planter's Peanut, and there's the whole like Mandela effect about that. And I'm pretty sure, my best guess is that people conflate them as like two like top-hatted icons, and the Mr. Planter's Peanut or Mr. Peanut Planter's peanut monocle is getting like transposed. That's my operating theory on that one. But I think having good eyesight would be great, because I was also interested in a little bit for a little while in like maybe going to flight school and becoming a pilot, but I believe that technically speaking, my left eye would actually prohibit me from being able to be a pilot in most places where you would want to probably fly. So I think good eyesight would be pretty cool. I think this is probably going to be very even. Really? Very strong towards good eyesight. That's interesting to me. I wonder if humans are fairly visual creatures. I wonder if people just undervalue hearing in general. I think having good hearing is great. It's just I kind of already have a level of hearing I want, so I would rather have the good eyesight. Which would you want? Blessed rain or warm sunlight? Windmill slam rain. I am a rainy guy. And it's just, rain is cozy. It makes me feel nice being inside, or like opening a window, so you just like, you get a little bit of the smell of petrichor and like the coolness of it, but you're still hearing the little tippy tappy, or like, oh man, being in like a car and listening to the rain is so good. And then on top of that, I love to like go for a walk in the rain, because I think there's a tendency for people to try and like keep their eyes down and try and make sure rain isn't getting in their face and such, but it creates this lovely little world apart where you can move through crowds of people, although there usually aren't that many, but you can walk around, and a lot of the time people's world retreats, I think, during the rain, and their sphere becomes a lot smaller. And if you just let yourself not be bothered, you give yourself over to the rain, where it's just, yeah, I'm gonna get wet, And you know, it's like a clothes-on shower, which I've never taken, but it's just, I'm accepting this, and then I get to go home, change into some nice dry clothes, maybe take a warm shower and dry off, and conquer nature in that little way. It can be really nice, and it's fun sort of seeing the world being a bit apart because you're not being worried about it. I don't know. I really like rain. Really? Most people would prefer sunlight. I said that more people would go for rain. I should have actually explained myself. I was thinking that other people would go for rain as well, just because like cozy game, I associate that with coziness, but maybe people just generally associate sunlight with that more. Which would you want? Prophetic dream or happy dream? I don't really dream a whole lot. Or again, you know, I believe that most of the time during the REM cycle of sleep, people are dreaming pretty much all the time. It's just oftentimes people don't remember them. So when you're not having dreams, it's that you're not remembering your dreams is kind of how that pans out. I don't think I've ever had a... Oh, no, that's not true. I was going to say I don't think I've ever had a prophetic dream. I have had some dreams where maybe it's not prophetic, but I've had dreams where I get to know an area very well that I have then later visited in life. And my assumption there is that I have either visited this place and just don't know, because it's always been like a local area, like a skating rink. I think was the biggest instance of that. So maybe I visited that when I was very small and don't recall, and my brain would patch that together and stuff. Or maybe it was just similar, and then so it sort of latched on. But it certainly created a very strong sense of deja vu that was very weird when I went there. But I like happy dreams. I don't get a whole lot of them. Again, I don't get a whole lot of dreams there anyway, but I feel like a lot of my dreams, they tend to be just like very abstract, and a lot of them tend towards more horrific things. I think that's because I'm a fairly anxious, fearful person in a lot of ways. So just a nice happy dream, I think would be very cool. And like, I'm not sure I actually want to dream of the future, right? Let the future come. I think more people would want happy dreams. Okay, that's not a big split, but still notable. Well, I'd rather be able to shoot webs from my hands or power to grow giant. I feel like there's a lot of complications with this one. Like, if the items on me grow with me, that's probably okay. But this also just has, like, I'm a lot more concerned about, like, accidental repercussions with the growing giant. And, like, there's, I guess, some use cases, but there's not a whole lot of them. Like, very small, I can see a lot of use cases. Being very big, like, I could move stuff around easier, but a lot of the stuff I want to move is inside anyway, and then I probably just couldn't fit in there. So, like, I can't think of a lot of shoot web from hand scenarios that I'm, like, super interested in, but I don't know, as, like, a neat little self-defense thing, and maybe I could start swinging around a whole bunch. It seems a lot less, like, intrusive if I accidentally set it off, or I'm, like, forced to set it off in a weird space. But I'm gonna guess that Grow Giant has more, like, mass appeal. Really? Okay, I wonder if people are thinking similarly to me? Or maybe that's just more boring to them. Which would you want? Bottomless pockets or a door to anywhere? Bottomless pockets, like if it's bag of holding style, so that you just like think of the item and then you pull it out, would be great, so you're not having to manage stuff. But if that's just you can fit anything in there, but it may be hard to retrieve, I have concerns. Whereas a door to anywhere, that would be very neat, because then I could go like visit friends super quickly. I could go visit any part of the world super quickly. That's funny that my mind went first to visit friends quickly, because a lot of my friends live far away. But yeah, I think that instant transportation would be very neat, and the adventures you could have there. Like, this is, if it functions like a bag of holding, very convenient, but I think this would be a bigger improvement to I think this would allow me to do more things that I wouldn't otherwise be able to do, whereas this would just like make my day-to-day better. Let's say other people want those adventures. Yeah! Adventure! Okay, which would you want? Hint for puzzle, answer to puzzle. I much prefer hints to puzzles, just hands down. Like, if I'm really, really, really struggling, I like to ultimately know the answer to a puzzle if I hit a point where I truly don't think I can get it. I'd rather get the answer so then I can reverse engineer it and still like learn and think about it and then apply that to future ones. But I don't like want to just get the answer right off the bat. I think more people want hints. Yeah. It's like just getting the answer. Like, in a lot of ways, it defeats the point of the puzzle. You want, or at least I want the answer when I am satisfied that I am not going to get it at least within a reasonable time frame if there's time constraints. But basically, once I have derived the thinking avenues I can get out of it, then I want the answer because that affords me new thinking opportunities. But I don't want to just shortcut all of that. Which is funny considering I said results over process was how I operate, but I guess it depends on the arena. Which would you want? Painting of unknown value or gold bars? Ooh. A painting of unknown value is very interesting. Just, like, it's very mysterious, whereas gold bars is, like, that's just straight money. Oh! Oh, I thought we could switch. No! Oh no! I've lied. I don't think I'm upset with getting a painting of unknown value. Like, I enjoy that mystery, but if I'm being fully honest with myself, I think gold bars is what I would probably take in most situations, because I would rather just have, like, the flat resources. But you know what? Alongside our door to nowhere, we're building a really neat little attic of just, like, weird things. So, we'll go painting of unknown value. And I suspect many people would prefer the gold bars. Yeah. Because I think that is just, like, a lot safer. Because I guess the reason I would want the painting of unknown value, I'm not wanting that as, like, a gambling thing for more or less money. I want that because it might be just a really neat painting that I might not be able to buy otherwise. I'd rather have a broken down radio or a grandfather clock. Oh, I love radios a lot, but I don't know enough about... Actually, man, like, I think a grandfather clock is just that, like, functions would be super sick, like, decor, but I think I'd rather have a broken down radio because I think radio is super cool and I would love to have one to just, like, tinker with and work on. I think there actually is one in the garage. It's just, like, a really cool vintage one that I don't want to accidentally screw up. But just, like, some cheapy beater broken down radio that I can, like, use to learn about stuff, I think would be awesome. But I'm gonna guess more people want the grandfather clock. Yeah. Because, like, it's functional, right? Which would you want, a mermaid tier or dragon scale? I think a dragon scale. Like, I'm concerned about how the mermaid tier was harvested. Dragon scale, I guess you should also be concerned, like, is it ethically sourced? But I assume they shed or whatnot. Or molt, whatever the term would be, but I assume those drop off, and dragons are super cool. Mermaids are also neat, don't get me wrong. But, like, I don't know, just a piece of a dragon, like, the properties involved. I love blacksmithing, so, like, maybe there would be some really neat little crafty metallurgical project that can be done with it, especially if it is, like, a metallurgic thing. I'm gonna guess a lot of people would prefer that just because, yeah, dragons are, I think, have a more universal appeal. Which would you want, the strongest sword or the strongest shield? Very much the strongest sword. Because the strongest shield... You can defend yourself with a sword as well as use it offensively. And you can do the same with a shield, but I think it's more unwieldy. I would rather have... And realistically, I'm not a big fan. I think swords are super cool, but from a combat perspective, there's other things I'd rather have. But just, I think there's a lot more opportunities afforded by a sword, whereas I think the shield is a little bit more limited. I think people think swords are cool. Really? More people would want the strongest shield. That utterly fascinates me. Which would you want, partner secrets or secrets of the world? I would want the secrets of the world, because I would like to know the secrets of my partner if I ever am fortunate enough to have a long-term partner. But I would love to get to know those, but I don't want to just take those from someone. That seems like, I don't know, that makes me feel gross. Those will be revealed if they choose to reveal them, and I think just knowing them all of a sudden outright would rob me of the opportunity to gain that trust kind of thing. Like, it's a good feeling when even just like a friend shares a secret with you. Secrets of the world, I do have some concerns, because like those are things that would be nice to learn, right, and come to the natural conclusion of, but maybe it is like lost knowledge that would be very hard to retrieve. Maybe some knowledge of like things that happened in the past, or even if it is about like physical constants and such. I don't understand it well enough to I will probably never in my life understand things well enough to even like be caught up with a lot of the like baseline theories of general relativity kind of attempts to like unify stuff and like quantum stuff. Oh god. Again, trying to work on some of the underpinning math, but I suspect I will never really reach the level of mastery I would like. But then I could maybe get some like insight into those, which I can then hand off to people who are far smarter than I or more knowledgeable, who could then use that as a new lens to start solving forward and derive the information. So I think Secrets of the World has a lot of cool potential. Ultimately, I think I don't want partner secrets in any way, shape, or form. Or in some ways, I guess, but not in the way that it seems to be described. I don't want it. Whereas Secrets of the World, I think there's some cool benefit to that. I think more people would want Secrets of the World, right? Yeah. Like, that also just sounds cooler, right? Like, I know the ancient wisdom, as opposed to I know the thing that you're kind of embarrassed about, and I really wish you would tell me, but like, you do you, man. Which would you want? A AA battery or glittering marble? Marble shiny. Practical, yes. And like, it depends on the context, but assuming it's not like the apocalypse, I'd rather have the really pretty marble. Yeah, shiny! Enjoy the shiny. You deserve to collect the pretties. Last one. Which would you want? A stranger's happiness or a perfect blue sky? Again, I'm more of a rain person, and I like people being happy. And oh, that would make me so happy if I'm prompted by some eldritch being. Like, which would you want? Oh yeah, I'll make some stranger happy. And just thinking about who in all of the world did I just make happy? Maybe it was some evil person, right? So, you know, maybe that's not the best, but just like thinking about some pilot who is having a terrible day that's all of a sudden turned around, or someone who's suffering in a war zone who just has some, you know, gets to see a flower or just has a moment of peace that's nice. I don't know, like something that tangibly benefits someone else, I think would be great. And whereas the perfect blue sky, you know, I guess drizzling and rain isn't for everyone, so maybe this would bring more general happiness, but this is guaranteeing something a bit marvelous or miraculous, and I like that. I hope others really more perfect blue sky. I don't know. I was hoping that with a game like this, that would be the kind of thing that folks would like, but perhaps not. Understanding humans is... I didn't actually catch how many total questions there were. I think that's the same as last time. We get C's on understanding humans, I suppose. So which is preferable and which would you ally with? I'm gonna be real. I'm like kind of starting to fall asleep. I'm recording this very late. So we'll pick this up again on another day, which will be not much to you. So catch you tomorrow. And all right, let's go. Which is preferable? This is the next day, Johan speaking. Which is preferable? Scorching heat or freezing cold? Well, I think I've said this a number of times. I need to stop doing that. But Meathan is very much a person who runs warm. So I much prefer the cold. And on top of that, I would like to point out, there is X amount of things that you can remove when it's too warm out. But there is always more that you can layer on if it's cold. So I think the cold is just generally speaking better. I think that logic will carry us through. I suspect other folks will also prefer the cold, but maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, because I don't know, like, I can fight against the cold far more effectively than the heat, plus my natural inclination towards cold. Okay. Which is preferable? Alarm doesn't go off or can't find the remote? Oh my god. I would rather get up. I can buy a new remote. I can buy a universal remote. I can get up and actually like change the channel or change the volume and such. And like, it's not my favorite when I'm all nice and cozy, but I can do it. If my alarm doesn't go off, I don't want to miss a day of work. I don't put alarms on the days where I'm like doing streaming and whatnot because I don't like that awareness of time, but I still need them for the things that I'm being paid to do. So, oh wait, no. No, it's preferable. No! I hate when I do that. I got myself confused. I would prefer to not find the remote because I would hate my alarm not going off. That was an accident. I suspect can't find remote is what most folks will do. Yeah. Oh, no, I'm so mad at myself. I clicked the wrong thing, but for the record, I would prefer to not be able to find the remote. Which is preferable? Dropping my wallet or dropping my smartphone? So this is a very funny question to me because my smartphone is my wallet. I've got a little thing on the back of it that holds all of my like cards and ID, and sometimes even slip a little money in there. So they are one and the same to me. This is also, there's like different interpretations of this because like if it's literally just like you drop it and then you go pick it up, I'd absolutely prefer to drop my wallet. Like in concept, when I carried a wallet, it was way more fine because everything stays in there. I'm not concerned about damage. Whereas dropping my smartphone, it's always that chance. You always roll the dice of, is it going to crack this time? So I really don't want to drop my smartphone. So I think I'd rather drop my wallet in principle, but at the same time, like if it's losing things, I still think even if it's like drop and then you find out later, I would rather drop my wallet because again, I don't use cash for a whole lot. Like I very rarely carry even like $100 on me kind of thing. Like, yeah, that's because like, why? Maybe if I'm going out to like garage sales or like I'm traveling and I want to make sure I've got some on me, I'll carry like 100 of the local currency. But yeah, I don't know. I would rather have to deal with canceling my credit cards and like reissuing them than losing like all of my contacts and such. I've got some backups, but not as many as I probably should have. I should work on that later. So I'd rather drop my wallet because I think there's more things that are hard to recover from my smartphone. Drop in wallet. Very, very even split, but slight preference for dropping wallet. Which is preferable? Trouble in 5 minutes or trouble in 5 years? Trouble in 5 minutes. I am someone who gets very anxious and dreads things in the future, and I would not be able to let it go seeing that looming on the horizon, so I'd rather have to suddenly jump into gear here in 5 minutes where I can't build up the dread on it. But I think I'm going to suspect that most people would prefer Trouble in 5 Years to delay it. No, okay, other people also want to get the Band-Aid ripped off. All right. I am very curious why this doesn't add up to... Why doesn't... Wait, that's not adding up to 100%. Are people just like quitting out at this point, maybe, or something? I wonder. Which is preferable, physical or emotional scars? So this is a funny one to me. Many of these are, which I think means they're good. When I was younger, I remember being really worried about physical scars. I've got a few of them. I was not a very, like, go out there and do silly things kind of child. I've got, like, one scar, from, like, a very, very small, like, walk-in surgery kind of thing. It's just like a little mark on my face, which freaked me the hell out when I got it, because I was still fairly young at that point and going, oh my god, I'm physically it's fine, like, whatever. The only other scar that I ever really got, well, okay, I do still have a mark on, one of my knuckles from where it got kind of crushed, showing off, to showing off to a gal I liked. I was trying to lift one end of a couch all on my own while two folks were lifting the other. It got very mismatched, and basically they threw their end of the couch up super fast, which made my end drop, or a lot more force on it than expected, and I ended up really crushing that part of my hand under it, and I was concerned about reduced mobility. Proud to report that finger's doing fine now. So I've got that, and there's like a little mark there. I didn't even know, wasn't even sure it was still there, but it's there. A little scar tissue. I don't mind it. And I had a horrible burn scar on my arm where a kid pushed my arm onto a barbecue to try and grab my marshmallow I was roasting there, because it was like a little public picnic area. And someone didn't watch their kid, and they grabbed my arm trying to get to the marshmallow, which slammed onto the hot metal. It was real gnarly. And it's gone completely away. I cannot find even a hint of it. I remember getting super concerned about pretty much all of those. As, oh my god, that's like permanent marks on my body. Yeah, they're not like super unsightly. And they're memories, right? Some of them unpleasant, but I don't know. I guess to a certain extent, they're proof that I've lived. Whereas emotional scars didn't like worry me as much when I was younger, because oh, you know, I'll think my way out of them kind of thing, I guess, I thought, whereas they tend to linger, and you learn to get along with them. Again, they aren't like life-ending, but I think I used to dismiss them too much. So, physical scars, I don't actually have like strong negative feelings about, whereas emotional scars, I've got more problems with. And like, I think there are certain amounts of physical scarring that I would be worried about, like, if I had suffered horrendous 3rd-degree burns, and like that was actively, like I had to get skin grafts and whatnot. But even then, like, while those would be a lot more serious, and I think would be more of a reminder, that would be them prompting emotional scars more than anything, right? It's not like, I don't think I would actually, I have good enough friends that I think would help reinforce it for me, and I've gotten to a better spot where I think I would be able to look in the mirror and not see myself as some sort of monster. Because you shouldn't, right? You are a human and something has happened to you. There are more extreme than I've gotten. But I think my biggest problem with them would be remembering whatever incident was so traumatic to cause that damage, which would be emotional scars. So I think physical scars are preferable. And I'm gonna guess many think the same. Okay. Pretty hefty change. Which is preferable, hard bread or pineapple on pizza? I'm not a big pineapple on pizza kind of person, but I don't like hate it. I don't know what they mean by hard bread. I think they mean like stale bread, but you like put some butter, you toast that and put some butter on it, and that's like really good. Pineapple on pizza, I'm not like I don't hate it, I'm just not super big on it. Although, as someone who has recently been doing like barbecue sauce instead of tomato sauce on pizzas, so it's got more of that like zing to it, that may actually be like a really good synergy. So, I don't know. I might need to experiment with that, but I think hard bread is going to be my preference. But I think more people will like pineapple on pizza because like that's just a legitimate pizza choice. Yeah. Yeah. No hate to what Hawaiian pizza, is that the like the ham and pineapple one? I think that's what it's called. Oh no. Which is preferable? Super loud or super stinky? I think I'm more okay with like a very noisy environment. It can be overwhelming, but there's like a certain amount of bustle that I'm okay with, whereas like stinky, I don't know, that feels like it's harder to get away from. But I'm gonna guess more people are okay with stink. No, more people are okay with sound. Okay, interesting. Intriguing. Which is preferable? Turn down resolutely or turn down mildly? Resolutely. Don't give, like, still have an amazing friendship, but don't like leave that hanging there. And like, who knows? Even if things can change, things can always change. I'm not saying like, oh, but like, if the person is unsure, but they know not right now, I'd rather they be clear about that right now, right? And then we can go build whatever friendship or relationship off of that. And if their feelings change later on, they finally like coalesce, just be honest about it. Hell, especially crazy, say, hey, I don't know where I'm at on it right now, but like, I've got some complicated feelings, but right now, that's not it. We'll see though, we'll see, but right now, we're friends. I think that's totally fine. I would still consider that resolute, right? Like, I don't know, I don't like wishy-washy communication. Be clear with what you say. I think more folks would say that. Very close. Wow, wow. Okay. Which is preferable? Failed because of me or failed because of them? Ugh. Failure in general is just not preferable. This is very tough because it's sort of poking at two different aspects of who I am. Because on the one hand, I like to be right, and so I would rather have failure be because of other people, because then I did everything right. But at the same time, I get deeply frustrated when things are outside my control. And I think back to a project where one of my history classes, or like social studies kind of things, our task was, we were trying to like learn about various global revolutions, and our goal was to research a country and then try to write a speech inciting it to revolution. It was a class that was like mixed, sort of the advanced students and the ones that weren't as advanced, and it was me and two of the like the normal class, and we were assigned to North Korea, which should have been pretty easy to get a decent mark on. Like, I think there's a lot you can reasonably criticize about that country. But I mean, the other folks in my group, some of them literally like did not know terms like infanticide. So I was having to explain that, and some other things that you should not have to explain to someone who is in like 15. That was deeply uncomfortable, but we got like a D on it because of that, and also they had a lot of trouble doing like good delivery on it and editing and a whole bunch of stuff. And that was so painfully frustrating to me. Because I was doing everything I could. Fortunately, the rest of my grade that semester, it was still enough. I still got an overall A, but that frustrated the hell out of me, because it was a walk in the park, except it wasn't because of the folks I was with. And so what that sort of comes around to, I think I get more frustrated I don't like when I fail because of me, but that still feels like something I can fix. If I'm failing because of other people, yes, I can preserve my ego, but there's not improvement. I can't actually fix the overall situation. So I think it's preferable to fail because of myself. And this is a game about introspection, so I'm gonna guess that other people would also rather fail because of— No, really? Preference for other people to drag them down. Fascinating. Yeah, I think I would rather have the ability to improve myself, to improve the situation, rather than I did everything I could. Or, you know, sometimes you do everything you could and you fail, but then you learn what you can do to improve it. Whereas if it's other people, there's X amount that you can do to coach them. Which is preferable? Looks gross, tastes great. Looks great, tastes okay. Looks gross, tastes great. I am a picky eater. I will have trouble getting across that like first hurdle, but once I try some, it'll be fine. Whereas like looks great, tastes okay, I'd rather have the good tasting experience. I mean, man, I've put like ground beef in a bowl with cheese and barbecue sauce, and you know what? That looked ungodly, but it was very tasty. Except the time where I put it in a paper bowl. That was very, very fibery. But I think a lot of people will get behind that, yeah. Don't judge me. Might look disgusting, but if it tastes great, what's the problem? But yeah, that added up that we were 0.2% short. I'm very curious about that. Which is preferable? Tossed into the jungle, tossed on a deserted island. Deserted island, I think, for me, because, God, jungles seem miserable. Like, the humidity and the number of insects that you're dealing with, whereas, like, deserted island, it may be super warm, but hopefully it's not quite as just, like, ungodly humid. I think it would be a more comfortable place to be stranded. Perhaps fewer resources, but hopefully, like, birds and fishing, you can get by. Jungle, I guess I know more about island ecosystems than I know about jungle ecosystems, and I think I'd be very likely to die in a jungle, still fairly likely to die on a deserted island. I have no such illusions. But I think I'd have more chances, like set up a solar still and whatnot. With a jungle, I don't know, you know, probably there's watering holes and whatnot. But yeah, I don't know as much about jungles, so I'd rather be deserted island. I think a lot of folks here are going to like the isolation and romanticism of the deserted island. Yep. Mwahaha. Which is preferable? Subordinate who's older, boss who's younger. I don't have a significant problem with either. Like, I guess my ego is a little more hurt comparing people who are in a similar or younger age and are doing air quotes better than me. I think hurts me a little bit more. But like, if they're a decent person who's good for the role, I'm not going to begrudge them that, and I can still communicate with them well. And same thing with someone who's in a position but older. I don't know their life circumstances, but as long as they're, you know, chugging along and willing to like work with me, and as long as they aren't like disrespecting me because they think I'm too young for it, I'm fine with that. So I think I have been in positions where I've been above folks who are older than me, and usually it's been respectful and fine. So I think I prefer that, but I think either one's fine. Subordinate who's older is, I'm guessing, what more folks would prefer. Very even though. Okay. Which is preferable? Clothes vanish in public. Oh god. Parents learn your fetish. Ugh. Neither of these are great. The thing I will say, though, is this, in many situations, is criminal. So you get the embarrassment and probably jail time or prison. Whereas this one, it's uncomfortable, but like, as much as you don't want to think about it, if they're your parents, you were born. So they have a life in that department. And as much as we don't want to think about it, you can probably live with that. You know, I think I'm more okay living with that than actually having to go to prison. And I don't, is that what most other people are going to think about? Because I think this is mostly being pitched as like an embarrassment thing. So I think more people are going to be worried about their parents learning their fetish embarrassment. So let's say clothes vanish in public is going to be more preferable to folks. No, you know, I bet that's because people are thinking about the criminal repercussions. Which is preferable? Gambling partner or overly diligent partner? I would much rather have one who is over conscientious. Although, man, I'm a very conscientious person in a lot of ways, especially with like finances. So if they're overly conscientious, that might be a problem. But I still think in general, I would rather have one where our baseline is secure and then we can work on going out more together rather than I'm having to rein that in, because I think that would, I think rather than helping me open up, this would reinforce my tendencies to try and compensate. I think more folks would rather have the, yeah, yep, someone who is doing a good job of things. Okay. Oh, would you rather have a world of endless strife or a world controlled by AI? I mean, like actual, if it's genuine, actual, like constant war, I'd rather have the AI overlord, I think. If it is something, because with that, I mean, the quality of life, you have freedom, but not really, because there's so many constraints put on you by the violence being enacted. But if it's just like the challenges, if it's just like the normal world where we band together, we have some structures that suck in so many ways, but we're able to keep trying to do things, I think I would much rather have that than a perfectly controlled world, because then if it's perfectly controlled, what's the point to it all? I think that control only makes sense when the alternative is incredible suffering, and strife to me does not imply like war-torn necessarily. But I mean, like, this is, I think I've talked about The Rediscovery of Man by Cordwainer Smith. Fantastic set of short stories. Highly recommend it. But it talks about this, right? Not specifically by AI, but basically super powerful psychics, essentially, start to run things. But then they recognize that they have essentially removed all that is human from people and reintroduce, not like, again, it's not like constant war, but they reintroduce differences and challenges, which helps people have purpose again and gets things running well. The quality of life is significantly improved. So I think a lot of things, Childhood's End by Arthur C. Clarke also, you've got things sort of being controlled, but you've got some folks that live outside of that because they think that to be totally controlled is to be no longer human. So I think there's a lot of things that make the argument for a world of endless strife. And maybe that's just a justification for something that we feel like we can't change, but I think there are benefits to the challenges. That doesn't mean that we should ignore improvements. I don't think that living in a tough way intentionally is good, because there needs to be reason for the suffering. But I think that signing away all of the challenges in our life to other things and basically just ceding that control, because I mean, there's still going to be some challenges there, but if we've basically given up our responsibility on that, I think it defeats the point of it all. I think people will agree with that. No, really, more people would give, oh man, that scares me. Well, hopefully, if y'all are part of that 54%, and if that's representative, hopefully you'll be willing to, God, this is below 70%. Did we get a D in our human? We got a D in human understanding, yeah. If y'all are in that 54% and it does come to pass, please, I beg of you, at least allow me some sort of human reserve where I can live apart from that. At least bring that kindness. You can pen me in, but give me the freedom in that space. Which would you ally with? Last one. and then we'll do a little more poking around. Which would you ally with, a warrior or a monk? I think, I mean, both. This is a tough one because like there's so many different varieties of each, but I think generally speaking, there's more of like an emphasis on philosophical and artistic pursuits with monks, whereas warriors, there tends to be less of that focus. There are plenty though where that was still viewed as being part of being like a complete warrior, but I think I would have better discussions with a monk. I think more people would rather ally with a warrior. Yep. Because I think that's more archetypal and people think of that as like stronger. Oh hey, this one actually adds up to 100%. Crazy. Yeah, so I wonder if it's just as things go on, it gets less and less because people like quit out early. Which would you ally with, a dancer or a thief? Ooh. Because it's also like, you know, for what purpose? But dancers are strong, man. And again, I would like to learn to dance. A thief, I feel like I would, in like a classical, a like classic fantasy archetypal thing, I might end up being the thief because I like tinkering with such things. So I think a dancer would complement me better. But I suspect more people would ally with a thief because again, like practicality of skills. Really, more with a dancer. Maybe there's concerns about the honesty of a thief. Wait, okay, no, my theory's been blown out because that's 100.01%. Interesting. Would I rather ally with a monkey or a pheasant? Monkeys are cool. Pheasants are kind of neat, but I think monkeys you can do more with. They have a higher level of intelligence. Is that a preference for pheasants? Really? I would be very curious to see the people's thought process with this. Ally with a prince or a princess? I think generally speaking, like, a prince, you're more likely to actually inherit something with that, but you're also then, your fortunes are thrown in with them a lot more. You know, their fall is your fall. And the same may be true with a princess, but I think, historically speaking, princesses tended to have to use more social means or secretive means to exert influence and control because of their basically social status in most societies. And I think that A, suits my style of exerting influence better, not that I do that often, but it also has less of a front-facingness, so I think I would rather ally with a princess. But I suspect many people would, I was going to say, I think from a power standpoint, more people would want to ally with a prince, but I wonder if it's going to be princess, because maybe we get a nice little romance there. Yeah? Yeah, princess preference. Which would you ally with, a rabbit or a lizard? Rabbits. They're cute. Lizards are pretty cool, but rabbits are super cute. And they can kick real hard. Yeah. Okay. An alluring exchange student or a local childhood friend. I don't actually have that many local childhood friends at this point. Well, I guess I kind of do. A lot of them have moved, but like in general, I would rather ally with a friend than someone who's a stranger to me. Now, have the two of us, now that we have that sort of trust and shared power base, that puts us into a better position to negotiate allying with someone new. But so I would still like to ally with strangers and get to know them, expand the circle, but I think first and foremost, a friend who I know I can trust. Yep. Work with the people that you know you can work well with. A former rival or best friend from youth. Same thing, I think. Like, with your friend. Ooh, fascinating. Really, more with the rival. That's very close, though. I suppose there's some merit to, like, it is someone that you know you've clashed with, but you've been able to overcome things with, whereas you maybe haven't experienced that kind of adversity with your best friend. But this also isn't saying that you've become friends. It's just maybe you aren't competing over the resource anymore. So I think I would still prefer a friend, but I think there is an argument there. It's just a lot of the people I tend to be tend to be very close friends with are people where I tend to have weathered some sort of problem with them and then can trust them on that deeper level. Would I rather ally with a resourceful bounty hunter or a knight on a mission? Probably the bounty hunter. I'm going to learn a lot more, and I think they'd probably be a lot more effective than someone who is quite so... Like, our mission, our objectives may be at odds here, but they're going to be very fussy about it, whereas here, they may be at odds, but then we can, like, split up and then, like, meet up later, right? Like, I think this sets me up better for a long-term thing. Yep. I think many people agree. Plus, I don't know, I tend to like the weird, scrappy dude in shows better than I like the person who's, like, too upstanding and self-righteous. A drunken master or a master training alongside? I guess I don't fully understand the master training alongside. So I wonder if that's like a translation thing. It's like aiming for like an apprentice, or is it literally a master who's like training alongside you? So like you're growing together. But I think I'd rather ally with someone who is very good at that craft and understated rather than like someone who's a plucky youth learning things. I think we would benefit from the expertise. No. I really don't know what they mean by that. Would you rather ally with a warm-hearted robot or a meek killing machine? From like a survival perspective? Probably the, again, similar like sort of understated killing machine. But I think I'd rather make the friendship with a warm-hearted robot and see what we can do with that. I think more people would go with the killing machine. No! Okay, I'm really doing a poor job of reading how other people would do it. But, like, I think this would be a better long-term ally in a wide... Like, combat? Everything else. Combat? Everything else. Would I rather ally with a dishonest angel or honest demon? Honest demon. Someone who's lying to me, however good they are in other things, I would rather ally with and align myself with someone that I can trust, even if I trust them to not be trustworthy. And that's like, I think I've said that a number of times with politicians. I'm gonna say honest demon more people would go with. Yeah. But like, I generally speaking distrust politicians. But I generally speaking, at the very least, trust them to be unpleasant, right? Like I trust them to do bad most of the time if they're like an established one. So like a new one, it really depends. I have a much higher level of scrutiny to someone breaking into politics because I don't know their track record. So even if, you know, I guess it boils down to devil you know, right? The devil that you don't know could surprise you for the better, or could surprise you for much, much, much worse. Would I rather ally with a descendant from the future or an ancestor from the past? From a practical standpoint, I think it would probably be someone from the future. But I don't know if I can I have so many problems with conceptually dealing with someone from the future because who knows how things will shift and change, but someone from the past, you know, we know that there's so much I would like to learn from that. So I'm not sure I could pass up the opportunity to learn from someone from the past, but I think more people would go with the person from the future. Yeah. And like, I think this is probably a stronger ally for most things, but come on. Come on! Like, what if it's mitochondrial Eve? Like, oh, the things you could learn from allying with an ancestor, that would be great. Ally with enigmatic pretty boy. Just generally speaking, no. Please, no. Or the knowledgeable old timer. Yes. I mean, that's the folks that I was hanging out with anyways. Very, very even, but slight preference for the old timer. They at least know how to watch shows. Ally with one to protect or one who has my back? Oh man. God, I'm just spacing out thinking. I would rather have someone who has my back. But yeah, no, I think it's got to be someone who has my back. I would still want to try and ally with people who need protection, but I want to do it from a place of strength, right? I want to be able to take care of the people who need protecting, whereas if that's my first person, I'm gonna have a lot more trouble, you know, that's less safe than, hey, I know you, and hey, we can try and help protect these other folks. Ally with someone who takes my hand, or who waits for my hand, takes my hand. And that's as someone who tends to be a lot more passive. I want someone who is willing to help sort of take that lead, as opposed to someone who's waiting around for me to take the lead. And that's also partly, I do end up taking lead a lot, even though that's not my preference. I'm the organizer, so grab my hand and yank me away, there we go, to somewhere neat. Wahoo! Okay, I like those. That's, I like the twofold of which we choose and which other folks choose. Oh, that's especially neat that they've got it broken down by the different personality types. Oh, that's kind of neat. So you can kind of see that. So coffee and tea. Dogs versus cats. Is there any... Across all the categories, there's no preference for... No group that strongly prefers cats versus... What I really want to see is if there are any where there's like a full reversal on things. It's like, okay, clown is like an outlier. It's more shifted towards bread than the others, but like I want to see if there's one that has like a real proper reversal. So is there any... Oh, Boncho, very, very close to being more towards guns. Oh, merchants. Interesting. So we've got two that actually buck the norm. Merchants and collectors prefer guns to swords. It's not a strong reversal, but that's interesting. Playing inside to playing outside. This feels like one where if it's... No? Okay, really? No significant reversal. We're not going to look at this for everyone. I'm just curious, at least briefly, on this first one. Is there any significant reversal? Nothing huge there. Some shifts. Looks like runner is much more towards sunrise. I suppose people who like to get a quick start on the day and such. Same thing with judge. Interesting. And like, you know, there's I think less to dig into, knowing at this point that these are not like strongly statistically validated categories, but like if there is one that does show a strong reversal, that would deeply intrigue me, because that would, at least to me, indicate some sort of significant actual difference in the people who ended up in that bucket. Like, I don't know, clown fairly consistently seems to buck the general trend, which is interesting. Friendship or love. Yeah, most folks tending towards love. Ooh! Clown's so close to flipping that. Merchants prefer friendship. So like here, that's actually a... Yeah, that seems like a fairly strong reversal. So I do find it very interesting that both merchant and clown, in a number of cases, are demonstrating reversals from the composite data. That to me would suggest that there is at least a greater possibility. There might be more. Yeah, again, clown and merchant. That suggests to me that though that is picking up on people who are a bit more, who are more alike than they. Oh, clergy actually, process versus results. Interesting. But yeah, like that, I don't know, that suggests to me, since they're fairly consistently scoring differently than the rest of the categories, that would suggest to me that there's at least a higher potential of similarity across those people, because if the composite data on all of the questions closely mirrors the individual buckets, that suggests to me that it's fairly evenly, fairly randomly distributed across people doing it. Whereas when you have a lot of variation in it, or in some cases, right, like actual like reversals, that would suggest to me that that is a group of people who are similar to each other and less similar to the others. And that's very, very rough. Obviously, that's not a super great scientific scientific delve into it, but that would intrigue me. That, especially if there is ever some research done on it, that would deeply intrigue me. If those categories show a tighter cluster on personality measures than others. So now that we've done those, let's do a quick delve back into the game to see if we can figure out. I'm going to do the ladder to the inaccessible place, because I think I figured out where to use the key. I think the key gets used where we do like our little prayer, because there's a locked shed there, and that's the only thing I can think of that's locked other than the safe, which I'm hoping that maybe that will lead us to, like, maybe that will lead us to the, like, safe, the safe code. And if not, I may just see like there's got to be a code around here somewhere. But I wonder if we can brute force it, because at the very least we should look at it, because I think there are 4, so we probably can't brute force it, because then we would have to try. It was 10 numbers, so that would be 10 to the 4th. So yeah, I'm not brute forcing 10,000 combinations. We could maybe look it up, but that would feel bad. It's okay, safe in my heart. Okay. Or wait, did we unlock the shed at some point? I know we did something with the lights at one point. I was hoping that would unlock the shed, but it didn't, did it? I can't remember. Oh, I'm suddenly doubting myself. But let's try it. Let's see if that does do what we're looking for. Okay. Mr. Ladderman, build me a dream. Become the ladder that I've ever seen. Let's access to somewhere inaccessible. Okay. Bye-bye, Mr. Ladderman. We tried killing the crow drone, but that didn't really do a whole bunch, so. I am the cleaning bot. I still don't know precisely what triggers that. I guess I'm wondering if there is something more there. Because we always get it like right at the end and it feels rushed, but I don't know. We'll see. If this works how I want it to, maybe we have some extra time to go check it out. Pick up the money. Oh, come on. Money. There we go. No, that's scrap. No. No, I want the money. Give me money. Okay. Feel a little bad skipping through all the dialogue, or just like not interacting with it. Oh, okay, that's something different. You, says the key keeper. Aha. Looks like you have a key. That's the key to this shed, and I need it. I'll buy it from you for 200 coins. I'm going to use it myself. No, I can't. I'll be using it myself. I see. Too bad. It's a real shame. Like, I don't trust him to actually open it. It's locked. If I use this key, the door unlocked. Ooh. A paper note. Is this, oh, key to this, or code to the safe? Something's written on it. Unknown note. Inventory? Secret trick to get 999 coins. Keep on walking down the coastline and they're yours. Really? Really? We tried walking down the coastline forever. I think that's a lie. Or, oh, you know, maybe... Maybe there's a chance that if we do it for... Now that we have the note, I wonder if that, like, unlocked something. That's a possibility, I think. Let's... Okay, so I think... Okay, we figured out how to use the key, and we'll do a second run with the ladder doing a shortcut. Let's... Oh, we can recycle scrap? Yes. God, I totally forgot about that, but that's a decent way to make money. Boop. But let's... I think it often triggers after we go to the cave? It's a kitty. Move it aside. Oh, this is for the lighthouse. Whoops. But let's... Let's go to the cave and see if we can get the cleaning bot again and see if there's something with that. I don't know if we really want to try and get, I don't know if I care about 999 coins, right? Like, it's useful to know that we can sell the key for 200. Because, like, I'm a little curious about the fishing rod that's over here. Yeah, like, okay, we never figured out who to sell, who to give the gift to, and the fishing rod, I don't know where to fish. So, those are some things that, I don't know, maybe we trouble ourselves with, so we can sell. Okay. Okay, we'll just go through this and die. But, like, I don't know if I actually want to... Let's... Okay, maybe we'll do something with the ship that crashes. Let's take a look at that. If it doesn't do that, my assumption will be that it's either fake, or we have to, like, walk down the beach for an ungodly amount of time. Which... I don't think I want to do that for 999 coins, you know? Unless it's lying about that, but at that point, if it's lying about the reward, why wouldn't it lie about the methodology, so... Because we walked for, like, it felt, I think, like 5 minutes, but... Maybe I'm just, like, overestimating that, but... I don't know. We'll see if the ship does something new, and if not, we're good. Or, oh, if the ship doesn't, maybe we go until the fight with the failed clone. Okay, that seems like a reasonable thing. Okay, something fell. Check. Seems to be a door, but it won't open. Okay, so not that. We get chased. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 ba na 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 bum bum ba-dum bum 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 ba-da-dum. I don't know. Is it not going to? I thought that it typically did this little creepy crawly thing by now. Is that like a random chance thing? Maybe? Or maybe there's a certain sequence that we need to do? Because yeah, I don't think we got those pop-ups last time when it attacked us. So we got walked far down the coast. Yeah, I don't think it's going to do anything. I don't know. Maybe a braver soul than I will try and do more. But I'm not too fussed about it. I'm glad that we didn't sacrifice the poor ladder for that the first time, though. I would have felt utterly terrible. Because that's, no matter how you cut it, even if you sell the key, like, you're making him, you're getting that, it's blood money. Or oil money, I guess, if it's, you know, a robotic ladder, but eat some of my memories. And you'll give me money for it. Okay. Oh, okay. 30 coins, yay! Let's do another 30 coins. And that's... Lonely Memories is very interesting. I'm curious why it wants specifically memories of loneliness. I wonder if that's just because of the, like... I don't know. Things that, when I'm feeling lonely, knowing that other people feel lonely makes me feel less alone. Let's get the present again and see if we can find that. Maybe I should have gone with the fishing rod. Maybe you want a present? Sure, we'll give more memories. Because, like, fishing rod, there's other bodies of water, so I feel like maybe we're more likely to come across that. But I don't know. Well, I suspect that we won't figure out who wants the gift if we aren't carrying it, so... But maybe that's wrong. Who might want the gift? Because I don't think we were able to give it to Kibo. I'm not sure the casino lady will want it. I don't know. I'm not too fussed about that. I want to figure out the other ladder use. Oh, yes, this is the save. Receptionist, do you want a gift? Give me coins! Did you give me some coins? Sparkle, sparkle. Nope, okay. But, was that third floor? Second floor or third floor? Clown. Because it's in the middle? Okay. Second floor. Oh, big yawn. Yes, destroyed the EAIs, very rude. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not too fussed about the gift, but it's nice to know. But I want to see the other ladder option and what's in the safe, and then maybe the fishing rod. If we do another one, we'll go with that. Yeah, I think that because we figured out where the key goes. Oh, well, okay, so we can repeat it over and over. 3, 4, 5, 6. Waha. No. So yeah, we're going to need to find a code because it's still 9 to the 4th, right? What? No, 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 no. 9 to the power of 4. 6,561. So 1 divided by 6, 5, 4, 1. And then we took, well, so I guess, so we did 4 chances? Well, so it's 1 in that times 1, because we reduced one of the possibilities by 640. No. My probability math is going to be off, but that's... No, so I guess it would be 4. So that would be like a 1 in 1,500 chance. Oh, and it's just coins. Oh, force the safe open? Okay, so it... Okay, so you can just brute force it. But... maybe there's... Let's play the game. Maybe there's like a way to win the... Maybe there's a jump and run. Maybe there's a way to like win the... Whoop. Woohoo! Sheep! Maybe there's a way to like win the code or something. I don't know, that feels a little anticlimactic. Oh no, wait, no, the coins! Feels a little anticlimactic. Okay. Oh. Oh, fascinating. Huh. Oh, that's... my mouse is just there. I was like, maybe that's a special block? So... there wasn't a way over. That's frustrating. Uh-oh. Yeah, so there's invisible walls. And then... is this actually impossible, or... Okay. Oh! Okay. We'll cancel out, but interesting. So there looks like there's some secrets in there. I'll stop gaming there. Interesting, interesting, interesting. Man, I thought the safe was gonna contain something like super neat. Aww. I thought I was going to have such cool lore. What I will say this is doing is somewhat reinforcing that, like, there are all of these, like, cool little things in it, but there's also a lot that is just, it gets you resources or whatnot. It's trying to see the little bits and pieces that you'll find along the way while searching for stuff, and then, you know, the little bits in the game aren't necessarily as, like, lore important as what you're overall culminating to. And that's, we got some more interesting bits of lore when we were actually, like, paying full attention. We're looking for just, like, little side things, but some of these things that seem like there's a bit more, or I assumed were a bit more complex because I didn't just, like, get them, seems like, it seems like those were not necessarily, like, super cool lore-oriented things. Well, now, good day, I am cleaning, I am cleaning. Is that a collapsed person? Let's, dismantle them. Just in case. I'll dismantle to be safe. Cleaner, I'll do the detailed work, so dispose of him after. Understood, understood. That is so horrific. Something on the ground I'll pick up. So we got a pocket watch. What does that do? Stop pocket watch, made with valuable materials. Second hand is at 3, shorthand is at 5, and the long hand is at 7. So 5 hours, 7 minutes, and 3 seconds? Or no, 5:35 and 3 seconds? Or is that trying to tell us a code? But is there anything that requires a 3-digit code that we're aware of? Because there's the safe, but that was a 4-digit code. I didn't think to check that before, but... Oh, but it would be 5:35-7 or something like that. Oh, I wonder if that is the safe code. Buy something. Yeah. Best red bean soup. Sure. Tasty but makes your throat dry. So I guess, let's see if anyone wants a gift. Nope, no gift. Do you want a gift? Nope, just want to talk about info. I think we tried giving it to Inori. Ah, Kibo! Kibo! Of course. What do you want? So what do you want with me? Sorry, I thought you might be having trouble. I wondered if I should give you something the doctor left. The doctor, please pick one. Let's get affection again. Hug. Mwah. Oh, that's right. Thanks. Take my leave. Do you want a gift? Didn't go. Haha. That's true. No, I didn't. Huh, I guess so. Do you think the doctor is really dead? What do you mean? You mean why you said? Do you think the doctor is dead? I think dead. Of course the doctor is dead. I mean, she just is. I guess so. Sorry for the weird question. And to you of all people. Okay. Drawing. Nope, you can do it yourself. I believe. Okay. Bum bum bum. Maybe we can try and trigger the Kibo interaction more times? Yeah, you know, let's do that. Let's get more Kibo. Pat pat. Yeah, let's see if we can do Kibo a few more times. That seems like something that I actually feel somewhat confident in being able to do. Ba, 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 ba. Kibo number 2. What the? I'm the helper type model. Again? Sorry, thought you might be running out of energy. Dr. Lever, in case my energy was low, what do you want? Well, thought you might be having some trouble. So if there's some way I can help. Nope, I'm good. Don't think I need help. What? That's... But in that case, you don't need me, do you? Well then. She exploded. One more time? One more time. Or is that it? Okay, that's it. Who else? I guess we can try giving it to Inori. Do you want a gift? A gift? A gift for you? Who could she be? What are these? These things around you. Sheep! They watch over everything, as well as keeping a record. I see, I guess. They are of the utmost importance. I have a request. Touch the sheep and come back. Find them. I refuse. No touch sheep. No way. I won't do it. Actions are ultimately up to you. If you touch them, I'll give you coins. That is all. Okay. Haven't touched them. I see. Please talk to me once you do. Okay. Man, some androids have only one thing on their mind, and it's sheep touching. Ew. Ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha. Ah, it's a funny joke because a female sheep is called an ewe. I'll see myself out. Do you want a gift? That's right. Oh, give the present. Aha! I'll give you a present. Huh, is that okay? What a good person. I must thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, hurts. I'm in pain. Would you show me a kindness of 5 coins? Sure. I'm saved. Still destitute. Uh-huh. He gave you a gift and coins. That gift cost 100. So yeah, okay. So a lot of this is just like, it's not that it necessarily triggers something, it's just that you are seeing something, it is giving you different experiences, so what you choose to interact with. So this is interesting. I'm glad that I'm doing this. How about a smoke? Ooh, natural indie spirit. Smoking is one of the most common causes of lung cancer for you. Golden sheep. Oh, so same message on all of them. Golden sheep or Ocha Heaven. Natural indie spirit has a natural scent, symbol, cigarette with an organic focus, 20 coins. Has a faintly sweet smell, cheap and full of tar, 10 coins. Has a fruity smell like tea for those who prefer tea time to smoking, 20 coins. Sure. This is very funny as someone who actively has like a slightly sore throat from talking. Woof. Smoke. That's not a smoking area? Sorry. Wait, that's not? I just smoked a cigarette by an AC unit. Challenger. Oh, this is the smoking area. Like, man, smoking is not something I have ever felt a powerful need to. Like, I love the smell of, like, wood smoke and such from, like, a fire. And, like, I will say, aesthetically, that looks awesome. But, oh, it sounds miserable, and, you know, actually watching folks do it, seems just cannot believe. Especially knowing what we do know about them. But, hey, we got a memory. Why do you smoke cigarettes, Doctor? Well, because I've got smokes and a lighter in my pocket. That's not an answer. Smoking increases the risk of death. It can make you more likely to get sick or shorten life expectancy. Sure can. I don't wish for you to die early, Doctor. Glad to hear it. But that might be tough so long as I've got a lifespan. I guess, yeah, from like a quality over quantity perspective, but I have such a hard time. I have such a hard time thinking of that as an actual improvement of the quality. Final action, throw. Ha 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 ha. We're very challenging, apparently. Bum 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 bum. Okay. I mean, we probably don't need to go through this, but sure, I'll be curious. We'll see what abilities we get this time around. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba. Bum 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 ba-dum bum. Like, I will also say, personally not a big fan of vapes because they can still cause a significant amount of damage. And like, I have yet to see an e-cigarette that captures the same aesthetic. So to me, it just kind of seems like the worst of both worlds, personally, but again, it's not something that holds a huge amount of appeal to me either way, so. But yeah, I don't know. That is just not my thing, I guess. Seems I have to. Yep. Okay. Attack boost, move speed. Attacks become double attacks. Whoa, take absurd damage but defeat foe in one fell swoop. Let's try a speed boost. Ooh. At least you can't beat me. I mean, we're dealing double damage. That seems great. So, runner seems like a very powerful thing if you're trying to... Because I'm guessing that's a runner thing. So, if you're having trouble doing this, it seems like that would be a good one to throw in the mix. Can't be... What? Hi. No, at last, the doctor. I'm at the limits of my energy. Please hold on. I'll be there soon, doctor. Ooh, samurai. I see. Doctor, from the moment I became independent, it's been clear to me what I should do. So first of all, I progressed things as planned, and after that, only needed to carry out my decision. My decision to do nothing. Please, from wherever you are, watch over me. Okay. Well done. Woohoo! So, I guess we will do one more super brief run. We will probably not... I'm not going to bother with the fishing rod. I don't know where we're gonna fish, and I'm guessing it will just get us coins or something. I know there's... I think we're still missing, like, one diary entry. So, like, that may be around here somewhere. And who knows? Again, we may like do a proper revisit of this at some point. But I'm not going to worry too much about it. I do want to see what the shortcut ladder does, because I think the information broker was saying there's something under the lighthouse, right? So I am curious about that. Highly dependable, admirable sort who can do anything alone and needs no help. So let's ladder in a shortcut and see if we can go under the lighthouse. And if we can't, we'll call it good. If we can, we'll see what there is and then call it good. Zoom zoom. It does feel... Even the way you... What? No, I'm trying to play the game. Oh. I must have accidentally hit no without noticing. I will say, like, this also just feels like a very weird way to be playing the game. Because it's not, right? This is kind of ignoring the... This isn't buying into its premise, which makes it feel less like a game. Which is a little sad, but... Oh no, we're exploring, I'm having an interesting time, and I do very much enjoy... Oh. I do very much enjoy, the quizzy aspects of it, I think is quite neat. Ba-bum-bum-ba-dum-bum. Yeah, I almost wonder if, like, there's a way to get in there. Utsuwa, yes. It's okay, safe in my heart. Ba-da-ba-bum-bum, ba-dum-bum. But the dialogue is, I like how the dialogue is written and how it finds ways to get you a lot of the same information, despite different, like, perspectives and routes to it. Like, this is overall just such a charming game. Highly, highly, highly recommend. And very excited for 7 Days to End with You. To see what else Lizardry has cooked up. Ladderman. Okay. But hey, shortcut. Make a shortcut. Your death is my convenience. Aha! Okay, so yep, that's how we get under. We're monsters. But it's to explore things. It's to explore things. Surely it can't be all bad, right? Right? Hmm. If this just takes us down to the beach, I will be very sad. But I think this is supposed to take us someplace new. I'm going to feel so exceptionally mean if it doesn't. I've had to kill the ladder 3 times. No. Okay. Oh no. The recon model was already shot down, but the doctor isn't even here. Peace talks. Oh no. Yep. No, wait, oh god, we can't even quit out during this. But yeah, so shortcut, not worth it. Don't give in. Oh, I thought that was going to be something neat and new. I'm a monster, but okay. My curiosity is mostly satisfied. I do not feel put out. Or I do not feel put out like I've missed anything if I just move on. So I think that will do it for us. That's I should have saved the little talking things for the end so that we had those as a wind down. That was a little goof on my part from the perspective of presentation. But I feel good. There's still a diary entry out there somewhere, so if I'm ever feeling a strong hankering for it, maybe that will be a project for me. But like, this is not a game that had a huge quantity of content to it. And that's okay, because I think it still delivered a really nice experience in the very, short package. Like, this was impactful to me. This got me to think about myself. It's gotten me thinking about video games as a medium for examining personality and could a study be done on this? It's gotten me thinking about the messages that I think it's trying to convey about making use of your time and the importance of enjoying what you have and not obsessing over what you don't. Is I think one message you can kind of pull out of the meta narrative. But yeah, just it's given me a lot of good thoughts, and it's something I think I will keep coming back to when having a hard time. Even if it's not necessarily replaying, I think it's something that will pop into mind when I'm struggling. So, very much recommend it. This has been a very lovely experience, very calming. Thank you to Lizardry, who I suspect will never watch this, and all of those things, but big thank you for making such a neat little game, and thank you to everyone for coming along with my little personal journey on it. I think it would be awesome if I am ever able to make something as neat as this, where it doesn't need to be some big AAA thing with hundreds of hours of content, most of which are fetch quests, right? This is a small, simple thing with a little map and just a lot of different things to poke at, and a message it's trying to get across. And that's so neat. So thank you for coming along on this journey. I hope that whether you're watching this day, night, or whenever it is, you have a fantastic rest of it. And I wish you luck in the rest of whatever you've got going on. But for now, I must bid you adieu. So thank you. But for now, bye!